welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year, still a new year I'm guessing. So today's Be Fearless in 2024. I think I touched upon this in a previous video, but this year my main goal is to be fearless, to try the things that I haven't tried, to do the things that I'm afraid of, and to challenge myself, to push myself, to stretch myself beyond what I've stretched myself before. Because in the stretching, in the pulling, that's when the biggest change happens. I know it's uncomfortable, it's painful at times, it's hard, it can bring you to tears at times, because stretching can be a challenge and it's not where you've ever been before, and it's scary. So I definitely think that this year I'm wanting to be a fearless woman, a woman of integrity, a woman of substance, success, all the above. I've already said in the previous video that this year is my year of abundance in all areas of my life, so I'm believing that. So I definitely believe that we are being intentional this year. My perspective for this year is clear, the vision is clear, my goals are clear, they've been planned out, and I've set the actions for them. So I just want to encourage you guys, if anyone is in the same path of this year, just wanting to change themselves to become the woman they've kind of always wanted to be the woman that they've always kind of wanted to become, hoped. We are being intentional with all the goals that we've set for ourselves, and we are having a perspective of accepting what's going to come. It's going to be positive, it's going to be good for us, nothing else negative. We've stayed in the same place for too long of being negative, and we've not gone anywhere else. We've stayed in the same place. I think once I opened my journal once, and I read in my journal because I hadn't written it in a long time. I think sometimes journals can be really good for this. I was watching Tracy J. Morgan the other day, and she was looking through all her journals. She had loads, and I was like, well, I wish I could write my journals as well as she does, because I start and then I stop. So I should actually add that as my thing to do this year, to kind of add my journals, start journaling and be consistent with it, because I don't really ever am consistent. But one day I was reading one of my journals from like 5-6 years ago, and literally when I had read it, I was like, this is me still. I literally was in shock, because I was like, this, I can still see that girl with that same mindset, with that same negativity, still in these words today. And it actually saddened me, because I was like, I'm not changed. So I think sometimes it's so good to look back at journals, because they can actually open your eyes to whether you've changed, you've developed, you've built your character. And for me, it was like, no, I'm still in the same bubble, in the same mindset of negativity, and thinking that, you know, I don't deserve good stuff or all this stuff. And I was like, no. After that, I read it, I was like, no, there needs to be some change. So last year, the change did start a little bit, but I think with the new year coming, I think I've just come in with a whole force, a whole other, you know, rushing mighty wind kind of fierceness. This year I've set it for God. I've said, God, you are leading the way and I am following, but also in the same kind of pursuit. And I'm not in the way of like just stepping back. I'm doing my part, but God's going to do the full force of everything else. So this year I'm like, I'm excited, because I'm like, I'm no longer trying to weigh everything on myself anymore. I'm not trying to please anyone, because I'm like, you know what? God's the only person that really matters in the highest form. So why am I trying to please humans all the time who don't even know me? I don't know them. They probably don't even care. In the nicest way, they don't care. They've got their own lives. Everyone has their own lives. And I'm here stressing and struggling over that when it shouldn't be my portion. So I'm here to encourage you this year that this year is about you, and for you to go forward, move forward. Don't look back. Last year is gone. Everything that happened last year is erased. That's how you have to see each day. When me and my husband have disagreements, I'm like, it's fine, that was yesterday, today's a new day. You know, his mercies are new every morning. Same thing applies with whatever's happened the day after. It's gone, it's in the past. We learn from it, we move forward, we're not looking back. So I'm here to encourage you this year. Let's move forward. Let's have a perspective of positivity, of belief, faith that this year is our year of change. So I hope this helps someone today, just to be like, you know what, yeah, this year I want to intentionally change. I'm not sitting back in the bleachers thinking hopefully I might change. I'm making the steps to change. So that first one for me obviously has been my spiritual and personal life. I've made sure that I add in my, I'll show you, I've got my Up on the Hills by Billy Graham daily devotional that I've been reading every morning. I'm going to be consistent with. I think I already told you about my habit diary that I keep telling you about. I'm also intentionally making sure to read my Bible every day, and a chapter a day, not just like a scripture that I usually would do. Obviously a scripture is good, but I feel like reading a chapter, or the full chapter of the Bible, can allow you to kind of see more of the story and the full vision and understanding of it. I've also have my budget journal here that for my finances, so then I can get to a place of just better financially, just financially in terms of saving for myself. So intentionality of finances this year as well. So I'm put the steps in for that. That means putting aside a certain amount each month to save. That's the action I'm taking. Be consistent with that. And just to be more intentional with also my weight loss. So I'm being intentional with the food that I'm eating. I'm making sure to try and do 10k steps a day. It's a bit harder because sometimes when I'm working from home, but what I've said to myself is, if I don't reach the 10k steps on that day, I will try and make sure that I catch up with those steps, if that makes sense, on the weekend, because weekends I usually walk a lot more than the weekdays. So if I can make sure the total score is, how much will that be, 70,000 steps in a week, then that's great. So if it's not even the day, if I don't meet the daily quota, which I'm still obviously I'd rather do, but at times I just can't be helped. But what I will do with that is I might try and incorporate some home workouts to try and add extra steps. But my minimum, I will say to myself, is I have to get at least 6k steps, which I've been getting like 7k some days. So if I get 6k, which is great, that's my minimum. So at least I'm not just like having 100 steps and literally nothing. So I'm still trying to maintain at least the minimum steps, but then the full goal of the week is to get 70,000 steps. So I've been intentional with that. My food, reducing my sugars, just because I feel like that's where my weakness is, having the sugary sweets, reducing that slowly. So for me is I need to stop with the chocolates and stuff, because that's my weakness. What I've done is replace that. So I replaced it with yogurts, because I do love a good yogurt. So now if I want something sweet, I'll have a yogurt, or I'll have like watermelon, cherries, grapes, just something that's not artificial sugar, if I can help it anyway, or too artificial and sugary. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been replacing things. So I've got a goal, I've got an action point, and I've got the plan, and then I use the action plan to actually be intentional and have practical ways of changing it. Making sure to take my vitamins each and every day, and to be consistent with them. I'm currently taking magnesium, zinc, folic acid, iron, vitamin D, vitamin B12, vitamin C, and biocomplex, like the gut health ones, and some turmeric for anti-inflammatory reasons. And I also try and have my juices on the morning, so then I can have just like cleanse my body before eating. So yeah, those are some of the practical steps I've been taking to just try and get myself spiritually first, and then obviously my body healthy. And then in terms of finances, obviously I've said I've got my my budget binder, or budget journal that I have. So these are steps I am taking this year to be more intentional, to be a greater version of myself, to be the woman that I want to be. Because becoming the woman that you want to be doesn't come by sitting down. I've learned that by the past few years. It doesn't come by just wishing and wishing and looking at other people from a distance and hoping and wanting and being like, oh, I hope so, I pray so. It takes this first step, the action. So I'm a big believer in the work. You have to also add in the work into it. You don't just sit back and just be like, God, you do it. And God's like, yeah, but I also need you to do your part. So if you're not going to eat healthy, you're not going to see the results. If you're not going to go to the gym or just even add the exercise, and you're not going to see the results, if you're not gonna start reading books, you're not gonna see the results of gaining knowledge, knowing more, you know, things like that. It's simple, but we always struggle with this. And I think sometimes we are scared of the work, and work isn't a bad thing. So this year we're about to work. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, I just got here. It's a process, it's a journey. It's okay for it to be a journey. Success is never overnight. It can be easier, but it's never an overnight thing. So hopefully I have been helpful in some way, motivated you guys to get raring and going for 2024, because we're in this together. If you like content like this, motivation, advice, support in your journey into the woman that you want to be this year, click below and subscribe, like, leave a comment for me, and then I'll get back to you. Let me know if there's anything else that you'd want me to talk about. Please let me know what your goals are for 2024. Let me know what you're doing to achieve those goals, and if you have any advice for me as well, because I'm always learning and I definitely love to hear from you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.